celebrating in Toronto and breaking an entire country's worth of hearts with wins in games 6 and 7 at the Rogers Center. And the man in the middle of it all, the MVP, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, leading the Dodgers and allowing them to join some really elite company. For the first time in 25 years, we have a back-to-back champion. The Yankees, the most recent one to do it from 98 through 2000. It is not a long list. The Blue Jays, obviously, in 92 and 93 were part of that. And now we look forward to 2026 and the possibility of a three-peat. And for the first time, we welcome you to MLB Tonight, presented by Strauss, alongside Steve Phillips. I'm Greg Caserta, and when Steve walked into the building today, we were saying, that took a lot out of us the last couple of days, but I was ready for 3 or 4 more games in this series.
Oh my gosh, these two teams, we couldn't get enough of it. I mean, the dynamic offense, the great defensive play, stars stepping up, and people performing that you wouldn't necessarily think could step in and have big plays and stardom in their performance.
And we're going to talk about them, but there's so much to break down just from the last 2 nights, not even counting the first 5 games of this series. The Dodgers, though, showing the heart of a champion, Steve, and at points, you can make the argument that the Blue Jays were the much better team in different facets of the game, and yet they're able to come out on top and to do it on the road in the last 2.
I mean, really, for both these teams, they showed so much heart. I mean, it's a shame that somebody has to be the loser of this World Series. And the star power in the end won out. Outstanding starting pitching that could also come out of the bullpen won out. And we saw that obviously in Game 7 for the Dodgers. But, for both these teams, we saw them come back from adversity where it looked like things were dire and come back from it and perform. We saw guys that were hurt who said, you know what, tape it up, slap some dirt on it, let's get out there and play. And we saw guys leave everything on the field. I mean, there's nothing that anybody could say about the effort for these two franchises in trying to win this World Series.
When you mention effort in this World Series, the first one that comes to mind was the MVP, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 12 years, $325 million, already paying off for the Dodgers.
It is. I mean, think about 3 wins in this series. He wins Game 2 on the road in Toronto. He wins Game 6 on the road in Toronto. Oh, yeah, he warmed up and would have gone in Game 3 back in Los Angeles in the 19th inning if it had gone there. And then he comes in Game 7 out of the bullpen, gets the win in that game, throws another 34 pitches on top of the 90-some plus from the day before. Just absolutely remarkable performance by Yamamoto.
In the end, he's 3-0, ERA of 1.02, wins all 3 on the road, plus the complete game in Game 2. So you see what he's able to do, frontlining this rotation and helping them out, because we saw Snell at points and Glasnow at points maybe weren't quite on that level, but Yoshinobu Yamamoto right now on a different level than pretty much everybody else on the planet, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, I think that when you think about, a pitcher, they pitch once every 5 days. Generally, right? 5-man rotation. For the Dodgers, when you have pitchers coming over from Japan, they usually pitch once a week in Japan. So the idea that Yamamoto pitched on 5 days from 2 to 6 and then comes in relief in Game 7 and his stuff doesn't decline in any way, that was the thing that was absolutely amazing. Take a look at his fastball, 4-seam fastball numbers here. Regular season average 95.4. World Series Game 2, he ramped it up. Game 3 a little more. Look at that, coming out of the bullpen in Game 7, fully fatigued, and when the game meant the most, and he's his most tired he's been in the course of the entire season with no recovery time after Game 6, his fastball was the hardest he's thrown all season long on average. He also had the breaking ball working, the outstanding curveball. Didn't throw any sliders coming out of the bullpen. Had the sinker working as well and the split. And his arms were so tired, he needed help lifting the trophy, the MVP trophy after the game. But this is like Herculean stuff. Yeah. This isn't normal. This isn't what mortals can do. You're not supposed to be able to do this. A few years ago we saw Madison Bumgarner do what he did for the Giants, starting games, coming out of the bullpen. We've seen Randy Johnson in the past win Game 6 and Game 7. And there's 3 of them now with him and another and Yamamoto. And he did it on the road, all 3 of his wins on the road for Yamamoto. This is just so special.
Yamamoto front and center as the MVP, but there was so much more. George Springer toughing it out. Clayton Kershaw riding off into the sunset as a champion. Max Scherzer starting Game 7 and planning on pitching next year in 26. Vladdy homering off Ohtani in Game 4. Savage, Clement, Miguel Rojas. Unbelievable. Dave Roberts puts his trust in his utility guy, and he pays off in a big way last night.
I mean, he hadn't played in how long, and then he gets inserted in Game 6 and plays a factor in that game. And then he ends up taking this ball and tying up the game, the big home run right there in the ninth inning, and he hit a slider. And the thing that's interesting is the slider from a right-handed pitcher is the one thing that he actually could hit. And you think, so why would you throw him that? Look at his numbers on non-sliders. He hit 233 over the year and slugged 273 on the sliders from right-handers. It's the one thing he did damage on, and for whatever reason. And I think generally the reason is that when you game plan and you lay out how are we going to attack hitters and everything else, you start at Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez. You don't spend a lot of time on Miguel Rojas. One, he didn't play the first 4 games of the series, but then he comes into this moment and he slows it down. He delivers. I think it was only his second home run against a right-handed pitcher all season long. And then he did it defensively, too. His defensive prowess in this game was just absolutely remarkable. I mean, him stepping in both in Game 6 and Game 7, the plays that he ended up making here. The barehanded play. You kidding me? Now, Tommy Edman had been playing second base, but I don't think he makes that play. And then this pick right here, what a pick. That's an in-between hop that he catches it behind his back. And then this play, throwing out Connor Falefa at home plate in the ninth inning for what would have been the winning run. He backhands it. He's losing his balance, gets back up again. And to not have been playing and to be that sharp defensively speaks to his preparation pre-game, in-game, of stepping up and being ready to go. Just absolutely remarkable.
Our live MLB Network coverage from both Toronto and Los Angeles was spectacular all throughout the week. Lots of shows, lots of guests. Last night, I made a point of texting both Greg Amsinger and Chris Young because they were doing really good work covering the post-game celebrations. And I especially CY asked a lot of really good questions. The highlight was when Clayton Kershaw came to the set because we knew this was it for the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, what a career, right? You're retiring at the age of 37. He let us know at the end of the year. And one last run, one last hurrah. And this is the one, right? If you don't feel the love right there and a family getting dad home finally, right? After a long career to finally get him back, part of the family, and what a career. To end it with an exclamation point, nothing better.
And he had a moment where he came out of the bullpen and was able to get the job done. Seeing Kershaw pitch in relief was strange, but in a big spot in a tie game, he did exactly what they asked.
He did. That 18-inning game and the Tommy Edman play right there, huge play. The glove flip to get out of that jam and allowing them to continue to push on to ultimately win this one in 18 innings.
What we learned is that he talked with his wife before the season. He said that this was it. He knew that this was going to be the last year. I think my favorite quote from him is that he knew that 88 wasn't getting it done anymore in the modern game.
Yeah, but yet, look at the numbers. Like, he could still pitch, and sure, that's the evolution of a pitcher too. Somebody who was throwing hard, a flamethrower at one point in his career, who starts to lose it, but can still figure out how to go about doing it and to get people out. And boy, did he do it over the course of his career. I mean, think about that. Yeah, 88, 89, touching 90 maybe on a good day. 11-2 record with a 3.36 ERA, and that's something his entire career. His ERAs, sub-4s ERAs, and you know, the numbers he put together, he's got an 80 WAR in his career, which is in Baseball Reference WAR. And the other thing, winning percentage. When you think about his winning percentage in his career, 223 wins and a 2.53 career ERA. Look at the innings right there, and his winning percentage of 704 among pitchers that have thrown at least 1,500 innings in their careers, ranked third all time. I mean, 223 wins, 96 losses. He didn't even lose 100 games and 451 starts in his career.
Goes out a champion. A storybook ending for Clayton Kershaw. Always compared to Sandy Koufax, who had a 5-year run. Kershaw had a 7-year run.
Hey, Trophy, what games did we win?
All the kids are doing it. And Blake Snell, who's very much on the cutting edge with what is trending and what's popular, having some fun. That's a fun flight home for the Dodgers after winning Game 7 last night in extras in Toronto. And now MasterCard Ballpark Cam showing us Dodgers Stadium, the home of the back-to-back World Series champs. And by the way, parade coverage starts tomorrow right here on MLB Network, beginning at 2 o'clock Eastern. The Dodgers winning an all-time series. Let's see how they got it done with Season of Dreams, presented by Mattress Firm.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a notion that it will close. I don't think that it has to. I mean, I think that it seems like for every team, there seems to be a cycle where they have a chance to compete. They age out, it closes, they have to rebuild a little bit, come back. I don't know that that's the case because they've got the resources financially to do whatever they want, and the depth of the farm system, depending upon what ranking that you're in, they're either first, second, third, fourth, or fifth in depth of farm system. So they've got that stockpile of talent going. They've got the business plan and the baseball plan rolling together. Right. And if the baseball plan slows down a little bit, they've got the resources and finances to buy their way back into getting that going again. I don't see a window closing at all here in the short term.
You got Snell, you got Glasnow, you got Ohtani, and rookie Sasaki is only going to get better. He showed you some stuff in the bullpen, but long term, he is a starter. So even losing Clayton Kershaw, not the worst thing. And you hit the nail on the head. I think what people overlook is that the Dodgers develop really well.
They do. And listen, they've got great starting pitching to move forward, which will get them through 162 games. And they've got depth that they can build in with guys coming back from injury, young pitchers to buy time if guys need that. And everybody kept saying, boy, it looks like they're getting old. Like, I didn't see age. Mookie Betts is as athletic as I've seen anybody in recent time. And Freddie Freeman, I think, is ageless. So Muncy, maybe he's getting up a little bit, but we're talking about fifth, sixth player down the line for them. Honestly, I think the odds makers seem to indicate they look for the Dodgers to be right back at the top of Major League Baseball again next year.
As Tom Petty said, it's good to be king.